Let's check out the coloring pages I completed in October. Now, I'm not really a horror fan, but I have been known to play video games or watch films with friends and family. But I'd say in general, I'm more about the suspense than I am the horror. Even so, I was able to achieve multiple pages that fit the Halloween and harvest theme. First, I'll share the page in Daydreams. I tried coloring 2 different books with the same color palette, but the goal I had in mind wasn't just to have the same color palette, it was to have the same lady, coloring the same lady in 2 different books, if that makes sense. So as you can see here, I've got some dark hair. Actually, I really like the way this turned out, and I really like the colors here. And then here's the lady in Seasons. As you can see, I kind of stuck with the same color palette, and I think she could kind of pull off being the same lady. I really enjoyed playing around with the green eyes, kind of similar to my mother's eyes. I think it did come out a little dramatic. Let me know if you think these 2 kind of look like each other. I did color both of these books with Scalar colored pencils. The next one is in Tales of the Masquerade. This has to be my favorite night scene among my colors. I was searching for the Winsor & Newton solvent that I had, and I just couldn't find it. So what I ended up doing was grabbing some baby oil. And I'm quite happy with this experiment because I felt like the fumes didn't bother me or anything. And since then I have found my Winsor & Newton solvent because I have been reorganizing all my coloring supplies. The pencil I used is Scalar. I used the Ohuhu glitter markers as well on some of the lights, along with Arteza pens. The other page is likely the most Halloween of the bunch. This is an eerie, enchanted fairy tale. I tried finding the history behind this fairy tale. For some reason, Google wasn't giving me the real fairy tale, so if you have the fairy tale name, please drop it in the comments. For this page, I used Derwent Coloursoft, and then I did go in with some Winsor & Newton solvent on her skin and some other areas on the page. I really like the colors here. Can't go wrong with that burnt orange and that turquoise color, but I think this is the most horror of all the pages I've ever done. The next page is what I'd call creepy cute. It's a bat in Summer Nights by Hannah Carlson. Oddly enough, I have one bat that visits my garden, and he does like to fly around the window to taunt my cat Luna. There's been moments where I've seen that bat swoop near the window to get her attention, and she watches in amazement. So I have been wanting to color this page for a while now. I really find this color palette beautiful, but I'm starting to be a real fan of that dark gray backdrop. Most of this page was done with Artisto colored pencils, but I did use some glitter gel pens around some of the areas as well. Next up is what I'd call Halloween meets ethereal. This is the cat in Fairy Tales and Folklore. This was such a surprise. I really did think it was going to be a complete fail. And the reason being is I went in with black, and then I went in with kind of like a goldenrod color, and I used watercolors in this area just for that backdrop because I wanted it to really pop. But as I started thinking about it, the reason why I went gold is because I was thinking the moon and everything on the cat just made me think I want a fantasy kitty. I think this is my favorite of the month. I ended up using Royal and Langnickel watercolor pencils. I went in with Prismacolor, then I used the Altitude metallic gel pens and a little bit of white Posca paint. The next page was more of an experiment. This is in Magical Dawn by Hannah Carlson. I was trying to make metallic skin, and then I ended up doing this. I mostly used Scalar colored pencils around the page. I did go in later with some Arteza metallic paintbrush pens. I ended up using regular Prismacolor pencil, and then I did go in with Scalar. I think I used a bluish tone and then a gray on there. Overall, this was an incredible learning experience, and I can't wait to try more skin tones. The next book is In Autumn Dreams, which is kind of my harvest page of the month. A horse and a dog on an apple farm. Unfortunately, I didn't pull off that dog fur, but I'll keep practicing. The next page is from Tales from the City Among the Stars by Hannah Carlson. I have been looking at this page for almost a year, and I decided just to go for it. I used Scalar colored pencils on the page, and then I did go back in with regular Prisma. I also used white acrylic marker on the clouds. It's just nice to complete a page you kind of want to do for a long time. So in the artist's vault, I ended up doing this ape. I was listening to a Nordic Fables audiobook, and that in the combination of this was just incredible. I used Shuttle Art alcohol markers here, and it did all right on this paper, but I can't wait to finish more pages in this book. The next page is from Dream Garden. I shared the work in progress last month, but I finally finished it. I do like the color palette a lot, and I did all right with the glass. I used Ohuhu alcohol markers. The other page is more mysterious than anything. It's in Mythic Worlds. After coloring everything around it, I just decided that I liked the creature light, so I went ahead and added some blue and then just called it done. I might revisit this page in the future, but right now I like how it looks. For this page, I used Derwent Coloursoft. I have been really enjoying these colored pencils. The last 2 pages are in Magic Worlds. In case you didn't know, this is one of my project books to try to complete by December 2025. This pumpkin home was so lovely to color, but I do think there was a reason why I selected it as my first page to color in the book. I used to play a cozy game called Disney Dreamlight Valley that has a pumpkin house for the fairy godmother, but there was a lot of mystery about that home. It was a type of teaser for nearly a year, so I think when I saw this page, it may have been the reason why I just had to color it first. Derwent Coloursoft really impressed me on this page, so much that I had to color another page with the same pencils. So here's this page. Started with the background, and at some point, as I was coloring it, I was able to get the flames, I was able to get the gems, like everything was fine. As soon as I tried to color the tiny glass bottles, I started to get really overwhelmed. I'm like, there's too many. And at some point, I had to give myself a timer. I set a timer for 20 minutes and said, you just have to color these and you have to do it really fast. And here's the end result. Overall, it has been such an achievement to beat my 16-page per month record. I hope your October treated you well. Thanks for watching.